Hello, everybody. Heather here. I wanted to come out of my hidey hole that I'm in this week because I'm doing a bunch of life slash business auditing, reviewing, reflecting, all the things. And I just wanted to speak to this. I was going to say, I wanted to write it, but I feel like delivering it in this format instead. I have had a lot of people ask me over the years, but more so recently, very specifically asking the question around how does remote energy healing work when you like how does it work, because if you're not in the room with someone, doesn't it change what me personally I'm able to do? And so I'm just gonna riff on this for a minute. If you think about and this is one of the examples I gave to someone when we were talking about it. If you think about how the internet works, you can either have a hard wire plugged into the back of your computer, or you can have Wi-Fi. Nobody questions how it works. We just know it does, right? So the difference between the wired connection and the Wi-Fi connection, if you were to link it with energy work, if you were to imagine that the hard wire being plugged in would be you physically in the space with me, and the Wi-Fi is we're in opposite rooms, right? Or I'm in my home, in my office, and you're at your home, in your space, or wherever you happen to be. It just works. But I know that that isn't a satisfactory answer for people when it comes to understanding energy work. The other response I gave to someone is, I know it works because if it didn't, I wouldn't have a business. I wouldn't be able to pay my bills. I wouldn't be operating a healing and a coaching practice, doing what I do remotely, which I've been doing for many, 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 many years, even prior to the pandemic. This wasn't a pivot. I have been working this way since I started. And so the thing you need to understand in general about energy is that it is not bound by space or time. I have worked on people who are in opposite ends of the planet, as well as closer, like, maybe Labrador, for example, or in the US, in Pennsylvania, for example, in Florida, and right around the corner. I have done work in person as well. Here are the major differences. One, when a human shows up to an appointment, any appointment, they feel better or different because they are actively showing up. It is the active doing. So by leaving their house and going to a place, it gives them a sense of, oh, I'm doing a thing, right? And that switches off a certain thing in your brain. It gives you this feeling that you're actively, participating in something, or that you're going to get your money's worth because you're physically going to the place. When people only want to do in-person work, it is a personal choice, of course, obviously. But what I want to say to you is, if you've never tried remote work, don't knock it until you try it. Because the very blunt reality is we as humans sabotage ourselves and we create blocks and barriers around receiving, which means if you come into a session that is remote already thinking this isn't going to work because it's remote, how could it possibly work? That's on that person, meaning I can't break through that wall because, one, it's none of my energetic or spiritual business. And two, it goes to show and speak to exactly how powerful we are as human beings. One of the biggest blocks we all have is that we block ourselves from receiving, which is why when we're presented with opportunities to try something new, we will often resist it because we are so convicted and committed to our old ways of specifically doing things that we block any other option, right? When it comes to in-person work with me, I am making a statement right now. It is not going to be happening anytime soon. I know that I had made an announcement recently saying that I was intending to open up my in-person space, but the reality is I have tried to do it 4 times in the last 2 years, and every time it's a day that someone, or the day before or 2 days before someone is supposed to be here for an in-person appointment, they end up getting COVID, or someone close to them ends up getting it. So I will not be opening my space because I do not want to be responsible for getting anybody else sick. It's not going to happen on my watch, okay? If you are open to work being done remotely, I am more than willing to be of service and help you and talk with you about it and answer any questions about it. And we can book an actual appointment for you to attend on Zoom. When you are in person with someone versus remotely with someone, the biggest difference that some people might speak to is that they just feel different. Like they're kind of like, well, am I still going to get the sensations, or am I still going to feel warmth or coolness, or like typical Reiki responses that people have. Everybody's different, first of all. Not everybody feels that even in person, right? Sometimes you feel nothing. I've done a lot of energy treatments in person as well as on Zoom and remote. I've also done them where I haven't even been connected with the person. They go off, they do the work, they come back and they let me know what the download was, which I also do. I do a lot of remote non-live sessions also, which yes, I have many clients that do that work as well. And you may not even realize it's going on, right? Some people feel it and have the sensations, and some people don't. It doesn't matter if you're in person or if you are remote, okay? It's not like going for a therapeutic massage or a chiropractic adjustment where there is an actual physical touch aspect to the healing. The type of healing work I do has nothing to do with hands-on healing. It is hands-off, and it is done energetically and done remotely. So if this inspires a conversation to have with me, please know I am open door policy. Send me a message, drop a comment below. I would be more than willing and happy to have a dialogue with you and a Q&A consult with you if that feels like it speaks to you. But I have to repeat this. If I was not able to actually see clients having results, repeat clients having results, for the last 4 years consistently, but also part-time prior to that, I wouldn't have a business. So does it work? I think that might be kind of the answer.